Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the National Doctors Day
Good evening,
Roundtable.
ma'am.
Welcome to the National Doctors Day Roundtable. Air pollution, the next killer after COVID. To honor the legendary physician and second Chief Minister of West Bengal, Dr. Bidhan Chandra Roy, on his birth anniversary, Bengal Clean Air Network, under the aegis of Switch On Foundation, is organizing this event. We salute all doctors for their selfless effort during this pandemic, and we thank you. We thank all doctors for being part of this event as well. So, without any further delay, I would request Shreya to start with the presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, welcome to the event on the occasion of National Doctors Day. I will be sharing a short presentation on what are the health impacts that has been perceived by community on the basis of a short survey that we had done in Kolkata. So globally, we see almost 76% of Indians live in places that do not meet the national air quality standards. In fact, in West Bengal, air pollution related respiratory diseases are 85.1%, which is almost the highest as compared to all the other diseases. 40% of air pollution related deaths in India were reported from the states like Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and Maharashtra. And what we can see that even if there is a small increase in the particulate matter, PM2.54 concentrations by say over 1 microgram per cubic meter, then there is a possibility of 8% increase in the pollution level in the atmosphere that we breathe in. There was another stakeholder roundtable discussion that we had in the very beginning of this year with doctors, and from that meeting, the key takeaways which we could take out are being compiled here. So it was realized that there is a need to understand air pollution as a health problem and also issue health advisories likewise, begin to biomonitor health regularly, develop app-based air quality guidelines, and also devise clear achievable targets on the National Clean Air Action Plan, and also for the underprivileged who are most likely to be affected by air pollution, issue health insurance schemes and health cards to protect them better. From the survey that we had conducted, the methodology that we followed was that we took Kolkata airshed and we covered 3 cities, Kolkata, Howrah, and Barapur, and the survey was mostly done in the slum populations in all these 3 cities. And the total sample size of 2,000 was surveyed, and on that, only 1,786 number of population who were the non-smoking category, they were analyzed. The impact on the vulnerability on the vulnerable age groups, where young and elderly, was very potently captured in this survey, which we can see from this graph that majority of the population belonging to the less than 10 years and more than 50 years category, they were affected by common respiratory health problems like coughing, sneezing, sinus, sore throat, and nasal congestion. So it was largely children below 10 years and elderly below 50 years of age who were experiencing health problems. And the top 3 health problems which came out from the study were sneezing, coughing, and nasal congestion. Among the elderly, breathlessness was a very common problem. Breathlessness while resting was almost 5 times more in the less than 50 years, in the more than 50 years category as compared to the less than 50 years. And people above the 50 years, they experienced, in fact, 3 times more breathlessness while walking and climbing, and also chest discomfort and breathlessness while climbing were almost double in the more than 50 years category as compared to the younger population. Next, we studied the impact on other respiratory health problems across income, occupation, and education levels. So across income level, if we see that it was largely the poor population who were earning a monthly income of less than 5,000 per month, who were the most affected by air pollution related common respiratory health problems like sinus, sore throat, nasal congestion, eye irritation, as well as coughing and sneezing. And also, we studied the perception of these population on the air quality, and we found out that among construction workers and drivers, it was the drivers, in fact, who perceived air quality to be about 1.4 times worse than the construction workers. So this clearly indicates that more number of people who are in the driving profession, they are more exposed to outdoor air pollution, and they consider the outdoor air pollution to be higher as compared to construction site workers or workers in the neighboring industries. Then across education levels, it was found out that people who had formal education, they tend to consider the air quality to be poor as compared to people without any education or without formal education. So it was seen that more number of poor people were saying poor people considered the air quality to be 3 times more good as compared to the people with formal education. So it's it's a very common tendency for people to perceive only those kind of pollutants like dust and gas as pollutants because they are clearly visible. In fact, most of the dangerous pollutants which cannot be visible through the naked eye are not considered as pollutants. And that is one of the misconceptions that we have to break. Now, I would like to request Vineda to take forward with some key suggestions, policy recommendations that we came out from the study with. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be part of this. It's so lovely to see leading doctors of the city, of the state, of the country to take out very important, precious time to come and join us, especially to talk to children and youth who are the future of tomorrow, who are going to inherit this world. And I'm so thrilled and so glad that we have so many children and college youth from across the state, representing many institutions. I think over 25, 30 institutions. So as Shreyadi mentioned, that the survey, we've been reading global reports, but what we wanted to see was what does that mean for a city where we stay in? Are people in the city suffering from those issues or not? And that's when this health perception survey we had to take out. We, of course, because of the pandemic, we could not do a more medical survey where we could do a PFT test, etc. So it was just a perception survey. So it's a limited survey, but even that perception survey gave us very interesting insights, which match what global reports have been talking about. And I think one thing that really struck me, and that's why one of the reasons why we wanted to have this interaction between doctors and students, was that the people who get impacted because of poor air quality are children, and of course also elderly. But children, I'm especially concerned about because they grow up with already lungs which are compromised, and they have to go through their entire life with compromised lungs. And that for me is very concerning, and we need to do something about it. But the good news is that we can surely do something about it. There are such problems have happened across cities in the world. I mean, China, Mexico, many cities, I mean, which have had very poor air quality, but because of initiatives taken by the government, by citizens, by young people, by children, we've been able to overturn that. And also, I think what is really concerning is people who are already marginalized communities, already in the margins, who are poor, who are struggling to meet daily food. They are the ones who are very affected because of air pollution. So these we know already that this happens, but now we know from actually going to the ground and talking to people in Kolkata. But like I said, it's not something that we should despair about, because there are solutions available. There are 4 key solutions that are way forward that the report that we've come out with today proposes. First is there is already an NCAP, which is already a plan by the government of India, which also all the cities which are not attainment as per the air quality standards in the country have to follow and set up. And there are targets, very clear targets set to meet air quality targets set by the government of India. So that is the first thing that we need to address, and we need to address this issue of air quality. And firstly, meet the NCAP targets. That's very clearly set out there. Each city is making their plans on how they will meet it. So that has to be done. That's a non-negotiable, and it has to be done immediately. That's the first recommendation. The second is increase public awareness on air pollution. So for myself, I would like to call myself an environmentalist. And for myself, until 4 years back, I did not know the gravity of the problem that air pollution has. So that public awareness has to be built. And like also from the survey that we did, a lot of people don't see pollution in front of them. They would not think there is pollution. But we are talking about pollution which is so small, PM 2.5 or even PM1 or PM10. It's not visible to the naked eye. In fact, it goes into our lungs, it goes into our bloodstreams, and that's when a lot of health problems happen. So it's very similar to the COVID virus, right? You can't see the COVID virus, but we inhale it and it goes into our bloodstream, it goes into our lungs, and it creates a havoc in the health system. And that's where that very strong link between COVID and air pollution can be very, very clearly seen. So that awareness has to be built. A lot of the COVID fight or a lot of the COVID response was because of the awareness this was built. Next is that I think what's really important is preventive healthcare interventions. We don't want to wait for health systems to be really stretched before we talk about how can we prevent that health problem to happen. And this is where preventive healthcare on how people can protect themselves, what they can eat, what are activities they can do that can ensure they are healthy and are able to take care of their health. The next and very important is switch to sustainable transport. So this is a very pointed recommendation that we have because in Kolkata, we know that most of the air pollution, the highest contributor to air pollution comes from vehicular emissions. This is a study as per NEERI, which is a government institute that was commissioned by the West Bengal Pollution Control Board. So that is we have to target the low-hanging fruit, which is vehicular emission. And there are cities have completely transformed themselves across the world, have transformed themselves to sustainable transport. Kolkata needs to again embrace bikes. Sadly, Kolkata has a bike restriction or a cycle ban, which is very sorry. But there is cycle, non-motorized transport, and also electric vehicles. So electric vehicles is also something that the city is talking about. So that's all from our side in terms